Sweet. What's up, everyone? Today on WPblab this week, we're going to be talking about all sorts of WordPress stuff, right? It's so weird to have a show, Bridget, where I don't have a topic already figured out. Even like a fake topic where we're just kind of like, somewhere around in here, we're going to talk about forms. Or somewhere in here, we're going to talk about, I don't know, custom post types or something. We have nothing except for just the folks that just need to hop in and ask questions, right? I mean, that's pretty much how the show's format's set up.
That's the tricky part about question and answer shows that are live. If there's no questions, there's no answers, but I can talk. So we can fill up time, no problem.
Exactly. Let's see here. Looks like Kimmy's jumping in here, so we'll get her to jump in and ask us some stuff.
Well, before she does, let's give a shout out to WordCamp Portland, which is Saturday, October 24. It's one day. It's $20, not a rent check. So they're super awesome, smart people, and you should totally go, even if you're not monogamous with WordPress, even if you don't know a whole lot about WordPress, you should still go. $20. There's still 80 tickets left. And follow them on Twitter, give them some love, and I'll put the links in the notes.
Awesome. Awesome. Kimmy, give us a quick little talk real fast. Let's see if you can actually we can actually hear you. I'm hearing some noises over there, so that's good. We sure can. No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Kimmy and I were actually talking on our way on my way in from the conference I was just at. So she and I were talking, and we were trying to figure out what kind of questions she wanted to ask me. And I thought, well, let's see if we can get her on the show, and she can ask the questions, and then we can go from there. So, Kimmy, let her rip.
Can you still hear me?
Maybe.
She has the internet I have at work.
Yeah. All right, we'll give her a second. Let's see if it works out.
I have a really old laptop,
No
so
problem.
I apologize.
So tell us about what you want to do here, and we can hear you just fine. So feel free to start.
Let me try and turn. Yeah, I can barely hear you guys now.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
But you guys
sure
can hear me, right?
Video streaming is kind of tricky.
Yeah. You know what, Kimmy? Maybe you want to just ask the question over in the chat box there, and then we can talk it out a little bit. How's that sound? Okay, perfect. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And I was telling Kimmy, and I was also, we can tell other folks on here as well, is that when you hop on Blab, which we're using blab.im to do this, and most folks will probably end up watching this video on WPwatercooler's, YouTube channel. So, when you go to use this, you can actually use your phone, but only an iPhone, unfortunately. You can't use an Android phone. They don't have an Android app for this. So if you want to hop on there, you can just pull it up here, and then you can see that it'll start, just let you start watching the video and stuff. It's pretty nifty. And I'm scared because it's going to start talking really loud because it's going to
Yeah, and it helps to use headphones for feedback.
Yeah, definitely.
That can cause trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And Kimmy, you can just say it in the chat room there. You don't have to worry about any of the other stuff. Looked like she may have gotten disconnected, so that's fine. So let's talk a little bit about WordCamp stuff, since we discussed that at the top of the show here. So
sure.
I had never been to WordCamp Portland. If I remember correctly, it's either WordCamp Portland or WordCamp Seattle that has been it's been like a little bit of time since they did it last, but I don't remember which one it is. And I'm going to look up at two different monitors here. I have one up above my other monitor here. So I'm trying to remember when was the last time they actually did their WordCamp, but let me see if I can, you can. I
didn't really care until recently, to be totally honest.
That's all right.
My parents moved there, and now I have a bunch of friends in Portland. My parents are in Southern Oregon, so I'm like, if you're between Seattle and Medford, there's no reason why you shouldn't go. It's only 4 hours, and it's so awesome. I mean, For me, when I went, like I was telling you on Facebook, Pam Ongst from Pam and Marketing was going to come out here. So my friend Carol and I were like, $40 to see Pam. Why not? Just do it. And she didn't get to come. There was a scheduling issue with, I don't know what happened, but we were there and we were just bloggers. We were just bloggers who tweet. And so, but we met the nicest people. And the thing is that a lot of times when you go to conferences, the speakers are kind of snobby and like they're just too cool for you. And it's amazing that most of the speakers stick around and go to other people's classes. And there's a lot of humility and generosity that you just don't really see anywhere else. Or I've just been part of a super cynical world. Well, either way.
or those people are being paid to go there, and most.
They don't get paid.
Most WordCamps don't get paid. Yep. So because of the fact that they don't get paid, I'd imagine they're really interested in being there. So they want to check it out and see what's going on with it and stuff.
It's a cool culture. I mean, like social media world or something, I think is like some ridiculous amount of money. It's almost my rent check. There's a lot of conferences that are super expensive, and so it's just cost prohibitive for a lot of people. So you can learn a lot about business and blogging, and it's not just like you don't have to like speak in acronyms to get something out of WordCamp.
So looking on, you can see my screen. Is it backwards or is it forwards for you?
I can see it forwards.
Okay, good.
Another outstanding sponsor.
Awesome.
Something.
Yeah, so looking on here, and I'll bring it up here a little bit. So looking on their website, I wanted to see if they had one last year. So I did a little trick up here, and I changed this to 2013 because I know 2014 they didn't have it. So you change this, you can see 2013's on here.
Nice.
I knew that they didn't do a 2014. So yeah, it says it's not available. So either they removed it or they didn't do one last year. But just for the folks at home that have never been to a WordCamp, they don't really know what a WordCamp is. WordCamps are great. They're like the lifeblood of doing this type of work. If you're going to be someone who does WordPress work, you're going to have to do this and go to one of these. And I don't know, it's a great way to kind of get an idea of how WordPress works, how you can run a WordPress business if you want. And even, someone like you, Bridget, who you don't do.
Even someone like me.
You're a user. And it's
right.
Awesome because you can go in here and kind of, take a look at, the things that people are talking about and listen in. Even if you don't want to listen to a lot of those things, you can go over and just kind of do what they call the hallway track, where you just.
Those are the best.
You just find a group.
Those are the best.
And jump in there and say, tell me some stuff. I want to know some things. What do you got? And then, people just start telling you stuff, especially geeks. Geeks love to share the types of stuff that they do.
Yeah, and it seems to be disproportionately introverted. So it's really great for Twitter. So Twitter, like for me as a shy person who's an introvert, I like how Twitter gives you access to all these people. And if you tweet a lot, they'll just come up to you. And then you don't have to walk up to somebody and go like, oh, I liked your talk. They'll just come up to you and say, oh, thanks for tweeting or whatever. And then you can ask some questions about Google Analytics or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden you have some big conversation that's pretty awesome. I think those have been really invaluable. That's what I mean. People are accessible, and that's part of the, I think, charm, if that's the right word, of WordCamp.
Sure.
People say, I think the buzzword is community. I think the right word is community, but to me that sounds a little like a cult, and I just don't want to give it off like that. But it's a generous group of people who, care for each other, and I guess it is a community. You don't have to like marry a bunch of wives or something like that. So.
It is a cult. It is a cult. No, what it really is it's great. It's great folks that want to get together and they want to talk about cool stuff that are happening within the type of work that they do, and they want to share that stuff. And it's not like one of those things where they're trying to make some money off of you, because most of these places, I don't want to say it's like a no pitch zone, but it's definitely like We can
Not
smell
spammy at all.
We can smell that a mile away. You're trying to sell your blah blah blah, and then, it just tells people, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I've been to 5 since 2013, and I haven't felt like they were spammy at all. Yeah, 3 Orange counties, 1/2 of a San Diego and LA. I know, it's crazy.
Half of a San Diego? What happened?
I only went on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just wanted to go see Heather Steele from Blue Steel Solutions.
Oh, cool. Yeah, she's awesome.
Because I know these people on Twitter, and then they end up being WordPress people, and so then they're my friends, and so I just want to go meet them for $40, and then all of a sudden I started building the website for my work, and I think you guys kind of roped me in, but I'm not raising chickens with you on a farm.
No, you're definitely not.
That Portlandia skit is classic. Oh man.
So we have our first question.
Oh, here's a question. Woo! Zach Lyman is in the house. I'm not excited.
How long does a burger take using a WordPress?
What?
A burger.
It's not a cooking show.
Oh,
Maybe we gave up the wrong vibe last week.
Yeah.
Or is that a joke? Because we're not selling George Foreman grills here, people.
You're not.
Oh, the hamburger thing is that mobile thing with the lions.
Right? Maybe. Zach, are you
mobile accessibility?
Zach, are you trolling us, or do you really want to know about hamburgers? Because I could talk all day about the hamburger menu and how you should put the word menu next to it.
How do you do that? What if the theme doesn't already make it that way?
Oh, man, you just hire someone like me, and we'll be more than happy to do it for you.
Okay.
All the things
Next.
all the things are different. All right, so Kimmy did get to asking us a question here. She was saying that she's having some issues with her 9-year-old laptop, but she was asking on the homepage of my website, the images on the homepage that link to different articles and I wrote are broken. They just display the name of the article and not the thumbnail image. Okay. So most likely those images are what they call the featured image within your WordPress site. And now that I have the handy dandy way of being able to kind of show off my screen, we might be able to do a little bit of a learning session here. How about that?
That IT conference came in handy.
I guess so. I'm like doing stuff now. All right, so let's switch this up here real quick. Nobody freak out. All right, so let's look on the screen here, and we'll go over to, let's see here. Let's load up my favorite thing called Desktop Server.
Yay, I love Desktop Server.
So
I never would have made a WordPress site without them.
If you've never used Desktop
all my
Server,
love to those people.
And you know what's funny is I think my Desktop Server is okay. I thought because I upgraded to El Capitan recently, and it did a lot of fun stuff. So it may have broken it. Good old geeky stuff. So let me see if I can get Desktop Server to load up here. What's nice about Desktop Server is every time you load it up, it actually goes and downloads a new copy of it. It goes and checks and see if there's any updates, and it downloads a copy of it. So hopefully this works. We'll see if it loads up here, and we can get it going here. All right. So I forgot I got this on the wrong screen. So here we go. All right. So there's our Desktop Server. So if you never used Desktop Server before, Desktop Server is a great way to kind of play around with WordPress without actually buying anything like buying a web host or anything like that, or renting rather from a web host. So with Desktop Server, you can essentially, what I say, spin up a website real quick. So it's going to make something called www.example.dev. Wow, looks like my version of WordPress that's on here is kind of old. That's fine. We'll just go with this right now, and I'll fix that later. So what it's going to do is it's going to set up WordPress real fast, set up all the virtual hosts and all that fun stuff, and then we can take a look at that and see what's going on here. So Kimmy, regarding the whole featured image thing, which I'm gonna address in just a second here. Once you go into your post, if you edit one of the posts, go over on the far right-hand side, and you'll be able to, let's see here, it might not work. We'll see if it loads up or not. But you'll be able to go over to one of your posts, go over to the right-hand side, and then click on the thing that says featured image. And then from within featured image, you can go and add a new featured image. And I'd recommend just trying to re-add one of your new featured images and see if that fixes it. And if it does, then it's probably easier for you to just go through each one of those blog posts real quick and update it. Let's go over to my personal website, and we'll go and mess with that real quick. So let's see here. Go over to jasontucker.us. Which is not WordCamp Portland. And once we get that up, all right, we're logged in. So I use a whole bunch of stuff and I have a ridiculous number of plugins and all sorts of stuff on here. So yours is definitely going to look different than mine. Oh, and you guys can see how many people have gone to my website too. That's awesome. So all 300 of them. So if we go over to the right-hand side of the screen here, you'll see that there's an area here that says featured image. And if it doesn't show it, you can go up to the top here and see right here where it says screen options. You can click on screen options and then go through here and turn on and off the things that you want to see or don't see. I showed this to somebody at one of the WordCamps recently, and they lost their mind. They lost their mind.
I was in that class. It
I didn't
blew
know
my
you could do
mind.
that. I'm like, yeah, check it out. So I'm going to pretend that
awesome.
like my WordPress installation is just like how yours probably is. So we have it pretty stripped down to just the bare minimum type of stuffs. And if you go over to the right-hand side here and click on, you can see my cursor there. Let's see here. This whole screen resolution thing is fun. So you can see my cursor there. If you click on this, you'll actually be able to see all the different photos that are within your blog post. So let's say we want to put in this Offspring concert that I went to recently. So you can go click on that, say set featured image. And then if you look over on the right-hand side, my featured image is set. So featured images, 9 times out of 10, depending on how, but 9 times out of 10, most themes are set up so that they'll use that featured image as the thing that gets displayed on the homepage. Now, again, your mileage may vary. There's tons of ways that this thing can be done. WordPress itself is just the engine that drives the creativity that the web developers come up with for these crazy themes and stuff that you buy. So that's how you would put the featured image there.
Yeah, I've noticed that before I knew about featured images, I think I found the same thing when I changed my theme, and the theme made all my sticky posts have a featured image. But if I didn't have the featured image, because I wasn't doing that, I was doing the right justified square post with the text wrapping around. So even though I had images in my post, it wasn't the featured image. But now you really want to have a featured image so that when your post is shared on Twitter or Facebook, it looks better. It looks good, and you should probably install Yoast SEO plugin, because forget the SEO part, whatever, I don't care about that. But as a social media person, if you do that and you're enabling Twitter cards and you're enabling the open graph data that Facebook uses to find out who you are.
I'll show you that right here.
Definitely install something like that.
So if you install Yoast, and man, getting this monitor screen size is going to be.
I know, and it's a 3x3. It's
right?
really tiny.
Okay, so
I love.
I think I got it figured out now. Okay, so if we go and load up Yoast, which I just went up to the top here and clicked on Yoast SEO just to turn it on, because I was showing you how you can turn it on and off stuff. If I scroll down here, you got this Yoast SEO part, and this is the part that that we're talking about here. Let's see here. So while you're in there, let me turn on my mouse pointer so you can actually see it. There we go. There's my mouse pointer. So while you're in there,
Woo!
you can go over and click on social. And within social, this is what Bridget was talking about, is that you can go in and put in your Facebook title, your Facebook description. You can also, put in your Facebook image. So say like this one right here isn't the image that I wanted to use. I can actually click upload Facebook image or upload image, and maybe I'll want to pick him instead of the what was going on. Maybe I want what was going on inside the place. I hit that button, and now it's going to use that image as the image. And if you notice right here, it says the recommended image size for Facebook is, and it tells you what that recommended image size is. And same for Twitter. You just go down here, you pick it, and you can see that the recommended image size is different than the one on Facebook. So, I wouldn't stress over it, but if you're trying to get, essentially pixel perfect, images, then you may want to kind of go a little crazy in there, especially if you're trying to maximize the exact amount of space that you have in there. Have you ever, now that we're kind of talking about featured images, Bridget, have you ever wrote a blog post and you ended up where the photo was like your neck, or the photo was like your chest, because depending on where the photo is?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Aaron Hockley said there's a plugin called My Eyes.
That one is.
I took his class.
That one is like the best. So for those of you at home that are playing the home game, you can go and download this plugin, and it's awesome. And just by default, it just works. But if you wanted to get a little crazy with it, you can do that. And it's hilarious, the name, right? My eyes are up here. It's funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
right,
we get it,
exactly.
Don't we?
And this actually works really great for church websites, to be perfectly honest with you. Because you don't want that type of stuff to show up on the photos, right? You want to make sure. No, not at all. Especially if you're one of those like kind of set it and forget it people, where you're like, I don't care, I'm just going to make this work, and you just kind of slap something together. So let me go in here and I'll create a new post real quick. And we're going to do my featured image. And I have a ridiculous number of photos in here, so we'll be able to find one pretty easy. So let's see here. Not a dog, not a bunch of pretty pictures outside.
You have a lot of squares.
Yeah.
But Facebook and Twitter are like rectangles, just for everybody else listening at home. Rectangles.
Okay, so let's say like this one. That's not going to be like the best one. Okay, perfect. Here's me jumping on a trampoline, right? Hey, I don't mind, right? So I added that feature image. Now I'm gonna click on the featured image, and you edit it. If I remember right, there was where's that box? It's down on the bottom, isn't it? Let's see here. Yeah, right
Doesn't it use facial recognition to already
know? The facial recognition thing down here. That's right. So what's cool is if you don't want to do facial recognition, like say it just can't detect it, right? Like it's gonna look in here.
Oh my gosh, you got bigger problems.
Well, right now it can detect it. Why? Because my face is probably pretty dark and it's really hard to tell. But what you can do is click add a hotspot and then click where you want your hotspot to be, and now it knows that's the hotspot. That's what I want you to do. And what's cool is if you have a bunch of people that are in the photo and it's like it's a group shot and it's a wide group shot, and maybe you have little kids and big kids and adults, you can click an adult that's up high, a little kid on the bottom, and then you're able to make sure that within this area it's going to take care of it.
Or me standing with 6 foot tall people.
Exactly. So once you do that, that's it. It creates the featured image with the thumbnail. That's the correct cropping, and then you're good to go. Yeah, that's at a KOA in San Diego. I love that photo.
Nice.
So does anyone have any questions now that I've totally made fun of myself on the internet, which I do every Monday, and now I'm doing this every Thursday. So why not, right? Any WordPress questions?
It's good. I mean, if we're not laughing. Question, may I join for a bit? Ernesto Diaz, 1979.
Of course, go for it. Just click on the button there, and we'll get you jumped in.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good.
Hi.
How are you too?
I'm sorry?
And I'm doing good. How are you two?
Oh, doing very well.
Good.
That's good. No, I actually came inside because I saw for WordPress, and I'm actually trying to see if I can learn how to do that, because I'm actually thinking on starting, I guess you could say like a group in Periscope and stuff like that. But I wanted to do something maybe with a group, putting it like in Facebook, but also having something like to organize, I guess, the things that I want to do, like in a blog, like with a group. So I was just wondering if you think that would be a good thing for me, or if I should just put the stuff on Facebook and then that's all.
Well, I guess it depends on who your audience is. If you have people that are on Facebook a lot, then getting that content on Facebook, but then linking it from your website to Facebook is definitely a great way to go. And there's tons of tools that you can use to do that. You can even automate it so that as you write new blog posts, those blog posts get posted onto Facebook automatically. So if you don't want to take the extra step of clicking the share button yourself and sharing it, you can you can do that.
Okay, thank you, because the group that I want to do, actually, just so you know, for like a little idea, I want to do I'm in Periscope, like I said, and here on Blab. But what I want to do, like a support group for the disabled.
Oh, cool!
Like in Periscope, I don't know if you two use Periscope.
Oh yeah.
But there's stuff like the Bopo tribe. There's Perry Girls. They have this thing, Tag Tribe. There's one for the guys, the Prairie Dudes. But since the time that I've been on, I haven't seen anything for the disabled. So I want to see if I can.
I think that's an awesome niche there. I think that's a great way of kind of getting people, especially getting people to come to your website that you're writing about this type of stuff, or you're gonna. Can you embed periscopes? I think you can, right? You can embed a periscope onto a blog post. I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know if you can save it to your camera roll and then upload it. But you're really gonna want to upload it to YouTube, right?
Sure,
you're not.
That's true. Yeah, why give them all the juice, right?
I mean, it kind of goes with Carol's question about sites loading slowly. You don't want to host video unless you're like on one of those crazy Amazon things that scale up for you or whatever, right?
That's true. Driving Mall said that's true that they for Periscope they only host for 24 hours. That's true.
So that makes sense to get that off in there. Now, I would definitely second what Bridget's saying here, and don't take that video and upload it to your WordPress site. Actually get that video hosted someplace. You can use YouTube, you can use Vimeo. If you want to use something that WordPress makes, there's something called VideoPress. So there's those types of things. Get it hosted someplace. I would definitely recommend YouTube. Would probably be your best bet, considering just
it's the number 2 search engine in the world. Just
only
small
next to
reason.
Google, who is the same company.
Also, here's the other thing, Dennis, about accessibility. YouTube, you can upload captions.
Oh,
yeah.
Because if you really want it to be accessible, then you might want to upload a transcript for the deaf.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and there's some great companies out there.
And you can do that with YouTube.
So that you just give them the YouTube URL, and they'll just go and encode it, or rather, they'll transcribe it for you. So if you wanted to do that,
And what?
So the company that I'm talking about, if I remember this is the right one, is rev.com, and they'll transcribe video for you. If I remember correctly, they're the ones that do it for YouTube as well. So you may want to take a look at those guys. But most of those services, what you do is you just give them the URL for YouTube, and then you just tell them, hey, make me some content, and they'll transcribe it for you, and then you'll take that, and then you can use it. Yeah, you're right. Chris is saying that you can actually, do the auto captioning within it. But if you've ever used Google Voice, it's that type of of captioning. So it's pretty funny. Regarding Rev.com, if you go over to them, if I remember right, they're only like $1 a minute. So if you can get some advertising onto your YouTube channel, get some of that stuff going, you might be able to, you know, maybe save yourself a little bit of money so you're not paying it out of pocket.
Yeah.
But I'll put a link in the chat here, and I'll also get it into our show notes on our YouTube channel as well as on our website as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. You guys actually answered the question, because I was actually debating if I should do something like that, like through a blog and Facebook, or like a suggestion, because I was just thinking on doing the Periscope and Facebook.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But I wasn't so sure if I should do I wasn't so sure if I should do a blog as well to have everything organized, because I was on Blab yesterday, and somebody was telling me that that this is almost like if it was like a blog, like a video blog here on Blab.
Well, you can put the video on Facebook, and Driving Mall is saying that in the comments. But here's the thing. This is what I hear over and over and over and over again with everybody I interact with that deals with WordPress. The really good thing about WordPress is you own your content. So if you put it on Facebook and Facebook decides they don't like you anymore, it's gone. And you don't have it anymore. So it's always better to own your own content and to have your own site for people to find you on your own WordPress, hopefully, website, WordPress, wink, wink. So, I mean, we would not be a very good WordPress show if we didn't say, you know, get yourself a WordPress blog, even if it's .com. I still have a .com blog, and I know I'm going to have to make a real site out of eventually. But it's easy. You're just on and it works. Boom. You don't have to worry about plugins or any of that nonsense. You just write and the community's there. So, you know, just think about that.
And for that on WordPress, do you have to pay for it, or is it free?
Well, WordPress.com.
WordPress.com is free.
Okay.
So if you just want to get started and just want to get going, you could do that. But WordPress software is free, but you got to pay for hosting. So there's a billion hosts from $5 to like $150 a month, pretty much. I use SiteGround. I like SiteGround. People recommend SiteGround, so you can try that. But you know, really, you just want to get going. And if you're just doing video, just start it on YouTube. Just start your YouTube channel, and that will all be there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, honestly, I'm thinking just doing video. I want to do something where, like, a combination from video, pictures, and writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could. I mean, you could do a Facebook group if you were wanting interaction. Yeah. But, you know, it just depends on who your audience is and how vocal they want to be about the situation they're coming to you. When you're dealing with support groups, you're dealing with privacy issues. And the truth is that even though there's 800 million people on Facebook, they don't trust it. Nobody's going to reveal their HIPAA data on Facebook, okay? So you've got to just think about that. Who's your audience? How can you serve them best? So I'm thinking if your audience is disabled, you're going to want captioning on those. And maybe there's somebody in your group who wants to just sit there and type it out for you. You never know until you ask. So.
But for right now, like I said, sorry, Jason.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, for right now, the idea that I have for the group is still up in the air. I'm still trying to get ideas on what to do. That way I can expand to make it like in the other groups, like I said in Periscope, where they have the Prairie Girls, Bobo Tribe, and they have big ideas to do stuff. I want to do something like that as well.
I think it's a great idea, and I think it's a great way of capturing that information too. So while you're out and about, you can use Periscope to kind of get those videos in there, and then when you're ready, you can take those videos and put them onto YouTube. You can even use YouTube's video editing built into it if you wanted to kind of string together along all of those videos that you've recorded on Periscope, and then essentially make a story out of it. And then from there, put that onto your WordPress site and tell people to go, read the WordPress site. Because the thing is that Periscope, as great as Periscope is to get somebody to watch it in the moment, the guy in the chat's right that it only lasts for a couple days or whatever. At that point, it's gone.
4 hours.
Yeah, so that's not going to help you any in the long.
It's not going to help you build community. And that sounds like your primary goal.
It is. I want to do something. Like honestly, for my goal with this group, I want to see for something to help the community who, like, let's say the Periscope community. Maybe even, I'm thinking even doing it on Blab, to have combining both to help people who are disabled who like to go in, like, let's say Periscope, Blab, talk about the disability, and I want to see help them to be encouraged, not to feel like embarrassed to talk about what they have, and like, let's see how they call it on Periscope. If there's trolls that come in, how they can just ignore the negative comment and keep on going with what they want to talk about.
Yeah. Right, like any support group.
Yeah,
really.
that's why I want a support group for the disabled.
You might also want to consider doing a private Google Hangout. You can have up to 10 people. It doesn't have to be a hangout on air. It doesn't have to be recorded forever, but you can still support your community and then give them a level of privacy.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to consider. I would just consider that also. Not everybody is super vocal about their disabilities.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So just think about that too. So I think you have your homework cut out for you.
To be honest, I do, because what I've been doing since yesterday, I've been writing the things down for what people give me advice. So I'm like, that's why you see me clicking down, like, because I'm writing the things down and getting ideas on what could probably work the best for me.
And I'll tell you, if you go over to the website I just linked to, which is
I actually didn't see. I thought I did see it had something, but I couldn't tell what was the link.
Yeah, it's in the chat over on the right hand side, over that way.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at the bottom, it says accessiblejoe.com. That guy writes all sorts of really great stuff regarding accessibility, especially when it comes to like the visually impaired. He does some really great stuff, which is why his website is the way that it is. It's big letters. It's made so that it's responsive. It's able to be read really easy with so it just depends on what the accessibility is and what type of things you're trying to do. But looking at his website, there's some really great presentations that he's done, and I've actually watched a few of them at WordPress meetups and also at WordCamp. So if you go over there and take a look at that, he'll kind of give you an idea of what is the best WordPress theme to use for all sorts of different accessibilities, as well as being able to get people to be able to look at that content using whatever assisted devices that they need in order to be able to read that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So are we ready for our next question? We have a question from Carol about site loading.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dennis.
I'll leave that way if anybody else wants to get on.
No problem.
So you guys answered my questions. Thank you for that. So
thank you, Dennis.
Have a good one.
All righty. See you later.
Bye.
All right. So the question is regarding being able to have site load up faster, huh? Yeah, that's always a fun one. There's many ways to go about it. The main ones are get a new web host. And that's I'm just saying that as if it's like no big deal. Hey, go move your website from one web host to another. So you have that. The other is, do you have caching enabled? And there's some great WordPress caching plugins that are out there. If you even just did a Google search on WordPress caching, there's a bunch of great articles about it. But the main one is W3 Total Cache and SuperCache. And I'll put both of the links in the show notes as well as into the chat here so you can take a look at it. They're, with most things within WordPress, it's not like one of those you just set it and you're done. There's probably a little bit of tweaking that you're going to have to do. But I will say that if you use something like SiteGround actually has that built in. So you could. They sure do.
Oh, they
have
do?
caching built in.
I didn't know that.
So
I love
you go and
SiteGround.
install their SiteGround caching plugin. It's called SuperCacher, if I remember correctly, or SiteGround SuperCacher. Go download that and install it, and then you can set that up. If you have a site that gets, more than just like your cat's website where it gets like one visit a day from your mom, but like, a real website that's getting, say, a couple hundred hits, maybe a couple thousand hits a day, and you want to get, it to be, loading up even faster, there's actually some additional stuff you can add on to that SiteGround plan that will speed it up even further. And to not get all crazy technical about it, there's varnish and all sorts of really fun things that sit in front of your web server to make it, go faster.
What about images? I mean, they seem to be kind of an issue, and I've seen, I think I saw Matt Cromwell at Miami talk about like changing your image size before you upload it to WordPress, and then to your media library. And I think, if I remember correctly, in that presentation, he says that WordPress, because of mobile responsiveness, makes 3 copies of your image.
Minimum.
So whatever you're like, if you want it to be 800 by something or whatever, then make those changes before you upload them to your media library. That could help too.
Especially if you accidentally pitched a little setting that says load the full version of it or the original version of it. You do that, and then it kind of blocks out. Maybe you only have 600 pixels wide column that you're working in. What ends up happening is, depending on how the theme's set up, the image would be 100% wide, so it's taking up this entire area. But really, the image is this big, and it's being switched down to be this big. So
So it's like chopping up your vegetables before you saute them.
Exactly.
They cook faster.
The thing I would
see, us smart.
See, now people are going to think we're doing a cooking show again.
I know. I'm sorry, but food has meaning to me. I understand food more than I understand.
Well, you can't eat Photon, but JetPack actually makes this thing called Photon, and what Photon does is it will resize the images for you. So, you stick it in there, you turn on the Photon thing, and then it goes off and does its stuff. It will.
Yeah, because I never do that. I just make it in Canva. I make the blog image title in Canva, whatever that is, and then that's
I think that's great. That's probably the better way of going about it. But what's nice about Photon is there's this thing called the CDN, and it's a content delivery network. And what they do is they actually host just your images. They can also host your JavaScript and your CSS files. Now, that's kind of over your head. But what those are is it's making it so that the website is taking care of the website stuff, all the HTML, PHP, all the stuff that kind of requires a little bit of processing power. Yeah, acronyms requires acronyms. So you have all of those, right? And you may want to look up the definition of PHP, or rather what the acronym is for PHP. It's pretty funny. So you just do a Wikipedia on that or something. But anyhow, so with CDN. So what you do with the CDN is that it will store those images for you. And then when the person goes to the website and says, give me the website, so it opens up jasontucker.us, and then it goes, oh, I see all these images. Instead of downloading those images from SiteGround or whoever my web host is, what it does is it downloads those images from a third party. Now, it's kind of
like when you embed a YouTube.
Exactly, just like that.
YouTube is hosting it.
So,
that's
what's
cool.
different here is that it'll actually make it so that the website will load faster, because you're tricking the web browser into thinking, instead of just downloading, because the web browser will download, and I don't remember how many it is at this point, because it's probably changed since the last time I looked, but there's only so many of these threads, like only so many of these hands that can go out and grab all of the various assets that are on the page. So what ends up happening is that instead of it just downloading them from the one, and it says like, I can only download 5 at a time from jasontucker.us. So while it's downloading those 5 that it can, it goes off to Photon's website and it downloads 5 more from them. So it's now downloading 10 at the exact same time, making the website load up faster because it's downloading all that stuff. So one of the companies that you can, if you're a company, if you're like a e-commerce site or something like that, and you want your images to load up really fast, you can go through a company called MaxCDN, and MaxCDN would be able to do that. Chris in the chat room saying it varies per browser, which is why I was kind of like vague a little bit here, but anywhere between 2 to 10, yeah, mostly 6 to 8, exactly. So what happens is it only has so many of those that it can get. Think of it kind of like, it's just asking these little requests, and the server will give you all of them all at once, but the web browser can only do so many at the same time.
That makes sense.
So now you have a CDN, and you tell the CDN, hey, go host my stuff. It hosts all the images, all the assets, all of the JavaScript, CSS, all those things. And then when it downloads just HTML, it goes and grabs all those things from the faster server.
Yeah, because I only have 5 seatbelts in my Fiesta, so come back, come back. You don't want to do it that way.
That's a perfect analogy for that.
I'm really good at analogies once I actually understand something.
No, there's another way you can do this. Now that we've kind of got the ball rolling here a little bit, and hopefully she's still in here and she's listening, because if not, she's gonna have to watch this, and we're probably gonna have to send Carol an email or something.
Well, she's like my best friend on this planet, so I'll just send her the links.
Alrighty. There's a WordPress plugin called Use Google something. I know it's good. Great. Yeah, use Google Libraries. So let me pull that up here real quick, and I'll show you what that does. So use Google Libraries is similar to what we were just describing, but instead it's actually going to take care of all of these things that are right here. So if you look here, you're like, I don't know what any of these things are, right? You know what jQuery is. You probably heard of what jQuery is. You couldn't, maybe or maybe not, you could write some jQuery. But these things right here are what's going to be supporting or going out to Google and downloading these. Now, what's interesting about that is that, everyone goes to Google. Everybody's been on Google's website. And if not, you've also you've gone to a website who's using this exact same type of kind of technique of referencing stuff that's hosted over on Google. So jQuery is this library, and it's so big. There's so much data that's in this file that it has to download and be used by the web browser. Instead of it being hosted on your website, you can actually host it through Google and have Google actually give that to you. Well, Google has ridiculously fast servers, and your web browser might even have cached that information from another website. So let's say that Bridget and I both have this thing running on our server, right, on our websites. And somebody goes to Bridget's website and they look at it. And Bridget has a slider, and she has all these things that use jQuery. And then they leave her website because they clicked on one of her links that goes to my website. And then what ends up happening is, instead of their computer having to go to my server and download jQuery, it goes, oh, I already have this. It's stored over on Google. And it doesn't even have to go out to Google to get it. It's already cached, so it just keeps working. So long story short, download and install this, get this on your website, and so it's a plugin. It's a plugin, and it'll speed stuff up for you. It'll take care of the Google's Ajax library CDN, and it takes care of all of these types of supported libraries. And there's other ones that are out there, but this one's a pretty good one.
So CDN is Content Delivery
Network.
There you go. So Driving Mall has a question about ads.
Ooh.
I have lots of opinions on ads.
All right, well, let's get him in here.
We were talking about accessibility earlier.
Yeah.
So if there's a site that's got a lot of flashing GIFs on the side, it's very distracting from reading your actual content. So there's some sites I won't even, I'll try to expand it so that, because if you think about it, it's like going like this the whole time. It's very distracting, and you're trying to read. So I don't like pop-ups either, because they're annoying as crap. But I mean, obviously, if you have a little thing on the side that says your getting affiliates from Siteground or something like that. And it doesn't, as long as it's not flashing, I'm okay with it. I don't want it flashing in my face. I like the hello bar. The hello bar is pretty cool. That's a plugin.
But you,
I use the .com, so the rather than self-hosting, and of course, so I'm on the part of the word ads thing there. But I find that none of the ads are contextually right for my rugby blog. They're all about celebrities this, celebrities that. So is it worth actually getting onto to sort of self-host and then use Google Ads or something like that instead?
Well, a lot of the affiliates want you to be self-hosted. If you're doing affiliate links.
Oh, no, I don't do affiliate links. It's all
so you're doing just
the
traditional ads.
Just word ads that WordPress.com provide.
Gotcha.
And I just find that it's.
Yeah, you can't have ads on your WordPress.com, which is probably why you're asking this question. So are you looking for a way to manage those ads? Are you wanting to go through Google Ads, Google AdSense to be able to do those ads? Or are you going to be setting up deals with third parties and then having them take care of, you'll take care of...
I'd be looking at Google Ads or another provider like that rather than actually having to go out to individual people.
Gotcha.
I don't have the time to be finding advertisers directly.
That's fine. So, and that's actually a good problem to have down the road. You can, partner up with somebody to sell ads or whatever, but really if you don't want to, then you shouldn't have to, and you should probably use some type of system to do it. So to manage those ads, I've used this one. I actually do a lot of sites that have ads on them and managing the ads and making sure that the ad placement works and all that sort of thing. And the plugin that I've used for this type of stuff is called Advanced Ads. And I'll put a link in the notes here for it. And they have a pro version of it as well, but you can get away without the pro version just fine. So I'll link to both of them just so you can take a look at them. But what they do.
But you can't put a plugin on a .com blog, though,
but
right?
He was thinking of switching over from a .com to.
Okay.
I guess so. I pay for my own URL, so I can move and it'll look fairly seamless. I guess the other question is how much traffic do you need to get enough ad revenue to pay for the self-hosting? So I average about sort of $350-ish a day.
It might not be the traffic, it might be the right
That's
traffic.
true too, yeah.
So if your blog is about rugby, okay, so you're not really going to want to advertise the United States unless there's like 4 people I know that like rugby.
Yep.
So mostly Australian, South Africa,
or
England.
That's right. So about 60% of my traffic is UK.
Nice.
So
there you go. So you're going to want to talk about things that their rugby players are interested in. Guinness. I mean, you got to think like a rugby player. What am I going to want to be doing, and what am I going to be clicking on? So athletic gear, beer, those kinds of things.
Doesn't Google Ads do that for you?
If you have the right audience.
Well, yeah, but the Google Ads do it based on the domain name. They also do it based on any of the descriptions and description tags and all that sort of stuff. But then it also does it off of the content, and especially the content that's around the ad that they're about to click on. So just like what Bridget's saying, if you were to talk about Guinness, like in one of the paragraphs, there's a pretty good chance either Guinness or one of the.
It might jump. You can try.
It's either Guinness or one of Guinness's competitors is going to buy the ad space for you on your site directly, or they'll buy the words that you're saying, that you're writing on your site, and use those to be able to get that placement. So
okay, so it's a bit like SOE but for adverts instead.
Yep, exactly. Now, I'm not saying that, Bridget's totally saying that you should write about Guinness all over the place on that.
No, I'm not. I'm not really a drinker. I'm drinking tea, people. I'm drinking tea. I'm just saying, think like a rugby player, right? So, I mean, whatever it is, if I'm if I have a crafting website, I'm going to be on Pinterest. I'm going to think like a crafting stay-at-home mom who has $60 a day to spend on buying crafting supplies to save $2 from sending it into the store, right? So you got to think like a rugby guy. What is something that he's going to catch or he's going to think about, or the girl fans of rugby, you know, that kind of thing. You got to think like that. It's just like automobiles, you know, football, any kind of sporting thing has a totally different vibe. So write about those things, those parallel things that are going to grab you in, and then they'll click. You want them to click, right? You want them to read and you want them to click. Yeah. That's how you make money.
Yep.
Is this correct? Yeah. Okay. So.
Wow. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Clint.
And then you want them to share it.
Yeah, no, because since November I've made like $10 on word ads, which is just nothing, obviously.
Yeah, but
you're making more than me, friend. So
$10 since November, not a day. That's just.
Oh, well, luckily you only have to make 100 in order to be able to actually cash out. So
exactly, yeah. So I've only got like another 8 years, and I'll be good.
No,
plus you want to share that content. I assume you're on Twitter since you jumped on Blab.
Yeah, I've got about 11,000 followers on Twitter.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm getting that.
Now you just need to leverage that a little bit and get people to start linking to your content and start talking about relevant stuff and stuff that's happening right then. So when the match is over, they can go on there and say, "Oh, so and so, rugby things and whatnot."
Yeah, no, I run a Twitter chat for an hour each week. And that has about a 2 million reach.
Well, that's Bridget does
that.
Really good.
And then.
That's super awesome. I bow to you.
And then I'm going to try a couple of what I call hash rugby chat extras on Blab for the next couple of days. So I'm trying to sort of grow it and have them all linked together.
So, are you doing chat recaps on your blog? No. Okay, try that because that helps because people love it when their tweets are embedded. It's like being a rock star. You'll get them coming back to your blog. Don't tell anybody I told you my secret sauce.
I just need to figure out how you do that.
Just
the sort of what the technology behind it.
You know, well when you click on a tweet and you see the date, you know the date on a tweet when you're in Twitter.com. If you click on the date, it will go to just that tweet, and then you can copy the link. And on WordPress. It supports this thing called embed or whatever. And so all you have to do is paste that URL into your blog and it will automatically render it. So awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
It takes a little bit of time, but maybe if there's like 5 super good tweets in your chat, favorite them during the chat. Cause I run a weekly chat too. Favorite them during the chat. And if there's a couple that are really good, and you know they might be influencers, and you're going to want to like kind of, you know, you could call it pandering or you could call it showing gratitude. It's, you know, potato. But, you know, you're trying to make money off of this, but plus build your community. Then the next time they go to the chat, they're like, ooh, what if I say something really cool? I might be on this blog. My tweet might end up here. And then I see it on Facebook all day. Oh, my tweet got included in this now, whatever. And we're so excited. And we are excited because it is awesome. Everybody wants to be loved, appreciated, and recognized. And you can capitalize that as an evil marketer. And that's my contribution. So.
Cool, thanks. There's some good points there. But you're right. It's trying to figure out of the sort of like 300 odd tweets, which of grabbing out the 5 or 6, as you say, and then putting them into some sort of post.
Well, favorite them as you see them. You'll know them. You'll know them because you know your community. So some tweets are like stupid, you know, but you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is good. You'll get to know it. You know your people. Otherwise, you wouldn't be having too many reach.
To go back to the ads thing, which is the part that's going to take care of your, the hosting of your website and stuff, is using that advanced ads plugin. What it does is you just give it, I want this ad to show up on the second paragraph, before the second paragraph of the blog post. I also want to have it on the second to last paragraph in my post as well. And then make sure you put one at the very top. So now you have a top one, somewhere in the middle, somewhere at the bottom. And what happens is you don't have to do anything. You don't have to put the ads anywhere or anything like that. You just take those ads, stick them into the advanced ads plugin, and then from there, it goes and automatically injects them into your code, right into the blog post. And you don't have to do anything else. It just automatically does it. What's nice about that is, let's say down the road you don't like advanced ads. Maybe you're making so much money now on whatever else, you don't even want to have ads on your site anymore. Instead of having to go into every single blog post and edit it and remove them, or if you want to change networks altogether, you just change it right in that advanced ads, and you're done. Say if you want to switch ad networks, maybe Google Ads isn't working for you, or maybe one of the rugby teams or one of the rugby, shoe company or something like that comes to you and says, "Hey, we want to run an ad on your site." Now you got to do
one of their sponsors.
Right. Now all you do is take that, stick that into advanced ads, and then tell it 25% of the time show their ad, and the rest of the time show Google Ads ad. And now you're
and then just do it for a month or however long they want to pay for.
However long you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh my gosh. Hey, we want to hear from you when you become rich. Tweet us when now I'm excited. I want to know. Are you really in New Zealand right now?
Oh, the link's gone.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Sorry, you cut out there. Just one last thing. Obviously, using WordPress.com, the interface is all there and easy. When you go to WordPress.org, is it a similar one, or is it much more complicated and you have to learn all over again?
No, it's pretty close to being the same type of thing. The dashboard's pretty close to being the same thing. You're not going to get as much of the hand-holding, where they kind of baby step.
You're not going to get any hand-holding. That's why we have this show. We're here to hold your hand right now. I'm just saying, I went from having 4 .com blogs, and I made 3 of them into WordPress blogs that are self-hosted. There's no hand-holding. You got to learn about plugins, and there's lots of updates and stuff. It's not scary. It's just work. It's easy, but it's just maintenance stuff.
Once you get past the $15 that you're making per month or whatever on ads, and you're making the $50, $100, $200, now you can go to another, to a third-party company and just say, you know what, I want you to manage this whole thing for me, and I'll just write content all day long.
There you go.
So that's there's a bunch of companies that do that. And if you go over to my site, WPwatercooler.com, we've actually just talked about this last week on that show. We did a whole half an hour talk on just being able to do that type of management.
Cool. Thanks.
No problem at all.
All right.
I'll get someone else to go.
All righty.
Don't forget to tweet us when you're famous. That is so cool. He's from New Zealand, you guys.
Awesome.
All the way half around the world. All halfway all the whatever.
So, Felix,
I
put it in there. It's called Advanced Ads. I love it. I think it's probably one of the best ones that are out there for doing ad rotations, ad management, all that sort of stuff. And I make money on ads. That's how my sites are running, is based off of ads.
Nice.
And so you have to have tons of content and tons of traffic to those sites. And if you don't have that type of traffic, you're going to make what he was describing, $7-10. I remember before I started doing that and I just have an ad on my site, as soon as AdSense came out, I was like, ooh, I got to sign up for that. And I signed up for it, and I put a couple ads here and there on different posts and stuff. Some of those posts got a lot of traffic and other ones just got a little bit. And, you look at it, you're like, wow, I made $9 since 2002.
Well, I think volume is an important thing. There was a class that I went to at WordCamp Orange County this year by WP Fixit, Jared Gucci. And anyway, he says you should blog 20 times a month for the rest of your life.
Wow.
So you need to work on the content calendar, do it now. I haven't done that because it was overwhelming. I thought it would be easier to go to the gym than to do that. But I haven't done that either. But anyway, I'm just saying, so it sounds to me like if you're trying to, pump up your volume for ads, you're going to have to do something like that. WPfixit.com. I think his slides are there or something like that. But for sure, I mean, I know Oscar Gonzalez, not a grouch. .com is big on affiliate marketing, as is johnchow.com. And they have all kinds of information about it, but they're also blogging all the time. They're blogging
about everything. They're
blogging.
sought this glass and see here's the glass and there's a link that goes to this glass to go buy it.
Yeah, well, he does a lot of product. Oscar Gonzalez does a lot of product reviews.
Yeah,
and that's helpful. So Google likes helpful information. You can't just go blah 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 blah. And then you have to have something that's people are going to want.
Exactly. Hey, to answer his questions regarding like what's tons of traffic. It depends, really. If you have a very niche market and it's like this is, like for instance, doing WordPress stuff, that type of market is, I mean, even though it does 25% of the internet, blah, 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 whatever, that doesn't mean that my mom's interested in it and my grandma's interested in whatever. So they're not going to go check it out or anything like that.
No, I could tell you from experience, my grandma told me, don't get into something that's a fad.
Right. So because of that, the tons of traffic thing, what it really comes down to is that you get like, say, 30,000, views a month or 50,000 views a month. And that they're coming from all the same type of place, same type of, sources and stuff. Because Google's looking at all that. Google looks at everything, anything and everything. If they're logged in or not, if they're this and that or not. I mean, they're looking at all sorts of stuff, time of day, whatever.
Social signals.
Yeah, they're looking at all that stuff.
They're indexing tweets now.
Oh boy. Are they actually allowing you to search tweets? Because remember they did that for a while.
Oh, they did it for a while and then they broke up and they got back together. Oh my gosh. But I mean, if you look for stuff, you can find it. I mean, really trying to find one of your own tweets is like torture. That's why I favorite tweets a lot. But Google does have I mean, if you look for somebody's name, like somebody famous, it'll show their tweets. It'll show a couple of their tweets. I'm wondering if that's actually going to help you having a bigger following, like our friend, and his reach in that Twitter chat, 2 million reach is huge. Yeah, I have 20,000 followers on Riggins Construction. And we have construction chat every Thursday for like over a year. We get a good reach, like maybe a few 100,000, but never millions. Wow. Of course, construction is more boring than rugby, but still, like, so, to have that kind of reach, it's gotta be in their mass somehow. It's going to help you get ranked higher. It just has to be. I'm thinking that Twitter is more important now than it was just because of that one factor. Especially we're all scrambling to get found, Yeah.
Yeah, especially if during live events. And if you can get people to come to your site, there's actually a few ways to do kind of a live blog while somebody's on your site. So you could say like, hey, I'm talking about the game right now in the match or whatever. Go check this out, and you send out the link to it. Then you can just go and, periodically send out a link that says like kind of what we do when we're doing the show here. We click on the little, tell a little bird type thing. Oh, so you do that type of thing. That's genius, actually. So you just say like, hey, go over to my site, go check this out. I'm live blogging this match. And then somebody's watching it and they can just watch that whole thing happening there. While that's happening, you have ads that are showing up on the side of it. Maybe you can inject the ads in the middle of it or whatever, depending on what the ad network is and what you're allowed to do. And then that's it. From there, now you're driving more of that traffic straight to the site and keeping them there for a longer period of time.
Yeah, that would be way better than putting it on Facebook. It's the Super Bowl when everybody's like, what a play. What was that guy thinking? We don't care. Get on Twitter. Right. Okay, he says he's at 10,000 views a month. Oh, my gosh. I shouldn't even be allowed to be in the same room as you. I was really excited at 82 on one day. 82 people. Woo!
Yeah. The thing about it is that you got to have like it's not enough. I mean, it's enough to get the ball going, but no pun. But you got to kind of get that going, and you're going to need at least 100,000 or something in that month just to start making pretty good money.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So for instance, let me pull up some stats here real quick, just so I can kind of give you a rough idea of what when you got your first 100 views a day, exactly.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet, but I also not consistently blogging.
Right.
Look at me, I'm being procrastinating right here, just talking to all y'all.
So for instance, in like 1 hour, right? You have say 5,000 views or 3,000 views or something in an hour. that could equate to, it depends on the time of day and what ads were showing up and stuff. It could be $3. It could be $1. It could be $15. If somebody actually clicked on the ad and went to it and maybe bought something, just depends on how these ads are set up. And all of them are different. And, you know, there's all these different types of ads that you can do where they'll take over the entire website, which I don't really recommend those, but, you know, make Bridget's head blow up just, you know, seeing a full-blown takeover on the site.
We bounce. It's worse on a mobile.
Yeah.
If you go to a website on your phone and it's not mobile responsive, you can't even get to the X to click it off.
Yeah.
So guess what? You leave.
Mm-hmm. I'm really thinking that you just need to move to hosting, you know, get on a...
Yeah. He's already doing 20 to 30 posts a month. He's doing that.
Yeah,
blogging. Garrett says to do.
Yeah, I think it's more about getting those links posted onto Facebook, getting those links posted onto Twitter, going off to the various forums saying, yeah, this is great, blah, 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 and there's a link in your signature, that type of stuff. But it's that SEO that's not the kind of black hat SEO where they go and hire half of a country to go, you know, hit up all of these different forums and stuff and post links all over the place. I mean, those are the ones that don't make, you know, they're not doing it right. They're actually probably doing, you know, worse off for your brand.
Boo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, boo, frugal web guy.
So we're getting pretty close to wrapping up, aren't we? We may have actually ran over. I don't know what time we actually officially started. It may have been an hour.
7:30 something-ish. Yeah.
I want to keep these.
We blabbed a lot.
Yeah, I want to keep these somewhere around an hour. I don't want to go too crazy, and I don't want to go.
Yeah, people won't watch. They won't even be here looking at my snarky face.
All righty. Well, let's close this up. So go over to that website. What was the the WordCamp that we were promoting earlier?
WordCamp Portland.
Yeah, go over to WordCamp.
Follow them on Twitter
and check them
WCPDX.
out. Yep.
Give them some love. Give them some retweet love. If you can't go, you can at least retweet them and help them get some reach.
Yep.
If you know your friends in Portland, Longview, Washington area, then say, hey, $20. Just go.
Oh, that's awesome. You went to WordCamp LA. That's great. WordCamps are amazing. And there's a WordCamp everywhere. There are WordCamps all over the place. So if you go over to wordcamp.org and take a look at that, wordcamp.org. Let me type up real quick here. So if you go and load that up, you can take a look at all the different WordCamps that are happening around here. And you just click Find a WordCamp. And then from there, you'll be able to, you know, kind of check out all the different WordCamps that are going on there. So let me pull this up real quick here, and then we'll close out. You just like seeing yourself go boop, 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 boop.
I know, it's like the Bridget Inception.
Exactly. So if you go over to the site here, you can see all the different WordCamps that are going on here. And then kind of get an idea of, you know, which one do you want to go to and what stuff is going on where. So if you scroll down the list, you can see that there's Atlanta, there's Phoenix, which is what we were just talking about.
No, Portland.
Portland. Yep, there's Portland right here. You have Grand Rapids. They're all over the place. The big one is, where is that at? WordCamp US. So the big one this year is WordCamp US. And if you're looking for, or you're probably going to end up being in Philadelphia in December 4th through 6th, you can go take a look at that one. That's like the big one that happens every single year. They used to happen in San Francisco. They've relocated them to actually all over the United States. So you can go check a look at those. If you live in Europe,
I think you can buy a ticket for streaming too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, and WordCamp.
Like a T-shirt.
If you live in Europe, you can go to WordCamp Paris. That one's great one. So go take a look at that and go check that out. And if you don't want to check those out and you just want to listen to us talk, you can more than welcome to come back every week here.
We're good at blabbing.
You know, we're blabbing over here. And lastly, if you watercooler.com, if you go over to, no, not watercooler.com, WPwatercooler.com. If you go over to WPwatercooler.com, that's the show that we do every single week. Bridget, I need to get you on there at some point. You know,
Well, maybe when I'm not at work. You guys are doing that when I'm at work.
Yeah.
I'm at lunch. I mean, I have a job.
Me too. I have a job too, but I figured out.
I don't know how you're doing that.
Figured out-
Oh, look at all the love I'm getting for being an employed taxpayer. Thank you very much.
So if you go over to WPwatercooler.com, you can take a look at that. We have 160 videos that we've recorded to date. We're also starting to put the WPblab stuff on here too. So if you want to go over to our YouTube channel, you can watch them over there. That's about it. Thank you very much for being on the show today, Bridget. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that we're able to get together every week and talk a little bit of shop about WordPress.
It's kind of fun because it's helping me like go into the archives like, oh, I went to that WordCamp class.
Yep.
Oh, I went to that WordCamp class. Oh, I went to that WordCamp class. I remember stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.